Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headaches stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need, what you need. We're broken, it's tragic, we're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic, believe you could have it. And I know of sadness, the anxious and panic, the infinite vastness of all that is blackness.
Hey guys, how you going? Hey Menacing Muskrat, how you going? MRH, how you going? Dana, how you going? Beckham, SC in the house. Faith, how you going? Carl, how you going? Virginia, how you going? Okay, let's get into, there's quite a bit of news going on, even though it was a Sunday in the US. Machiavelli said it's a joke and it mocks all of us, and the head of the snake is the financial system, and Henry Ford rightly said it's a good thing that people don't understand the financial system, because if they did, there would probably be a revolution by the morning, and it's true. Wall Street Ape said the biggest scam in the world. Everyone needs to understand this. Ken O'Keefe explains the cause of America's financial crisis and who's responsible. Our world is run by corrupt prozzies. It's a good thing that people don't understand the financial system, because if they did, there'd probably be a revolution by the morning. We are paying debt to who? That is the one question. The one question when they talk about the debt and the need to cut social services and increase your taxes, why are we doing that? Because we're in debt. To who? Who do we owe the money to exactly? Do we ever think about that? Who do we owe the money to? I'll tell you who we owe the money to. The Rothschilds, the Oppenheimers, the filthy rich banksters that are running this system, that are corrupt prosy politicians gave the power to these tyrants to do. You all have not worked hard enough. None of you have worked hard enough. None of you working class people out there have worked hard enough. You haven't worked hard enough, and you owe the Rothschilds money. And they're taking away your social services, and they're telling you you need to go fight a war. In Iran now, in Syria. And what do they do with the war? They make money off us again. And they send our sons and daughters off to war to kill innocent people, to rape them, to steal their land, and all the while hypocrisy doesn't even begin to explain us talking about freedom and democracy. It's a joke, and it mocks all of us. And the head of the snake is the financial system, and Henry Ford rightly said the same thing. There'd be a revolution by the morning if you knew how it worked. We owe money to the filthy rich. That's who we're indebted to. They could say, we're going to wipe the debt clean. For me, that wouldn't be enough. Are you kidding me? You think you're going to get off that easy? For hundreds of years, you've been enslaving the people in your debt-driven system. And you think that you're just going to be able to wipe the slate clean and that's going to be it? Hell no. If you don't hang from a lamppost, you should consider yourself lucky for the scam you've perpetrated on the people. And the thing is that they've got us all by this system. They control the money. It's not even paper to them. They don't even need to print the money. They can simply go into a computer, type in a couple of extra zeros in an account, and someone has got money. And this system that we're fighting against, you know, I've been working on things, and the thing that is one of the greatest challenges in trying to get things done is you need money. Well, guess what? Who are we fighting? Who we're fighting has an infinite supply of money, so we're forever fighting against people who can pay every corrupt person who can be bought. And that actually explains everything about the world and the way it functions. Our world is run by corrupt prosies because those that can be bought are the ones that will be given the positions of power, and ideally we like corrupt people who like little boys or high-class prosies, and we like to have videotapes of them because if you ever think to do what's right, then we'll release those videos of you with some little boy or some prosie. Literally, the more corrupt you are, the more qualified you are to be Prime Minister or President. Literally, this is the system we live in. It rewards the corrupt and it punishes those good people who actually have some integrity. That's the system, and the head of the snake is the financial system, and until we change that system, we're fighting an uphill battle. So that's pretty much what they just said. I just said it. There you go. So, yeah, that's exactly how the world's run. It's run on blackmail and corruption, and worst of the worst criminals are in charge. Leading reports said breaking Joe Biden purchased his $2.75 million Delaware home with all cash after Hunter Biden threatened his Chinese business partner in a $5 million shakedown, allegedly, apparently. I'm pretty sure. Theo Fleury said the guy who committed treason on his own people is talking about rule of law. Ha! You can't make this up, folks. Rebel News Canada said Trudeau has strong words for India after it expelled 41 Canadian diplomats. India is making it unbelievably difficult for life as usual to continue for millions of people in India and in Canada. And they're doing it by contravening a very basic principle of diplomacy. Do we want to hear him? Oh God, do we have to?
The actions that the government of India took this week are themselves contrary to international law. The government of India decided to unilaterally revoke the diplomatic immunity of 40 Canadian diplomats in India. This is a violation of the Vienna Convention governing diplomacy. This is them choosing to contravene a very fundamental principle of international law and
excuse me, Trudeau. I'm pretty sure he broke many fundamental principles of international law when he locked people down and went after the truckers and everyone else who didn't want to be locked down anymore and play by his silly rules. Mr. Castro. Anyway, I don't want to listen to him. He's just a horrible little man. I don't want to listen to him anymore. Alexandra Marshall said, Pompeii is amazing, but it's a city living between apocalypses. Vesuvius isn't done with it yet. Pompeii, a never-ending journey of discovery. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Mount Vesuvius is a very active volcano. Even if they tell you it's not, it is. Kim Runner said, as Speaker Trump, Troy Nels plans to vote for Donald Trump during the next Speaker vote.
You're going to tell that you should drop out.
I didn't never said that.
No, what?
My next vote is for Donald J. Trump.
So, do you recommend that he drop out?
I know that's up to Jim. That's him. He would be the greatest speaker. But if there's no path, I don't think there's a path. I'm for Donald J. Trump.
So, it sounds like you're not in favor of the plan to continue to stay here and go through all of this again and again over.
I don't know what's going to happen here right now. We're going to find out here in the next few minutes. But right now, my vote is going to be for Donald J. Trump.
How many rounds would you vote for former President Trump?
Can we find somebody in here? Can we find somebody in here? Can anybody here tell me we got somebody in here and get to 217? We threw out our speaker. We threw out the majority leader. And now we threw out the second most popular Republican in our conference. If it's not the all-star team, then who is it going to be? Donald J. Trump.
Good on him. I wonder if Trump will get in for Speaker. What do you think? He would make a good Speaker. And we heard about this a couple of years ago. I remember I don't know how many years ago, but they were talking about Trump as Speaker of the House back then. James O'Keefe said if you're effective at changing things, they'll take you out. So if you want to be effective, you have to have the willpower to take the hit and be taken out, then rise back up again, over and over again. If you can do that, you can change the world. Well, I've been taken out twice and I'm back. And I'm going to keep coming back. Conspiracy Bot said, Inner Earth Tunnel, I'll share this. Inner Earth Tunnels, this is just all through the USA. Main tunnel site, which is these things here. Reported entrance are just circles, wherever they are. Is that just a circle there? Known caverns are these little dots here, and suspected entrance is that an equal sign? Hard to tell. I can't even see it on the map. Anyway, this map created in 1978 shows a network of underground tunnels. It's a vast labyrinth of bases under the US, with most of the entrances located in national forests. So what happened, a lot of people go missing in national forests in the US and Australia. And if you think Australia is any different, or any country is any different, look at the Paris catacombs. Sorry guys, I'm just going to close my window here. Someone across the road has decided to mow their lawn, so... Okay, so yeah, this is in every country. The Paris catacombs, you've got, I'm sure, London, I'm sure Australia, I'm sure most everywhere, actually. And they even believe, some people believe, that there's tunnels running from one country to another. And that is not beyond, that's not that, what do you call it? I've forgotten the word for it. It's not that, oh my God. You know what I'm talking about. Not that far-fetched, that's what I'm trying to say. Donald Trump Jr. said the most predictable leftist cuck move ever. How long till she has his kids? Now, I don't know if this is real or not. Journalists posting their L's said we all saw it coming, to be honest. Ryan Carson's girlfriend seen visiting his killer in jail. You remember her boyfriend got stabbed by this guy? Yeah, well, she's allegedly been seen visiting him in jail. Omnicentrist Microchip 1984. I believe there's more to that. This is either a setup or they knew each other or something. Omnicentrist said white privilege miners going to work circa 1900. What were the 3% doing for work in 1900? This is white privilege in 1900. And most countries were slaves at one point or another. But most people don't bang on about it and declare that generations ago need to pay now for slavery that happened a long time ago. Declaration of Memes says, what does a government do once it has disarmed its citizens? Whatever it wants. Look at the Australian government. Look at the UK. Do you understand why? And they're having trouble with the USA. Thank God. Keep your arms, America. Do not give them up. Gunther Eagleman said Rep Tom Emma as Speaker is a hard no. In fact, with the USA, people are being warned to make sure they are armed and legged, you know what I mean. Rep Tom Emma as Speaker is a hard no. Call and email your reps and get an early start on it. Stay involved. I believe they're talking about the Speaker of the House. Get involved. Dr. Anastasia Maria Lupus said, interesting. Oh, look at this. Secretary of the Treasury, Janet Yellen. Attorney General, Merrick Garland. Secretary of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas. Director of National Intelligence, Avril Haines. White House Chief of Staff, Ron Klain. Secretary of State, Antony Blinken. Deputy Secretary of State, Wendy Sherman. Secretary of State for Political Affairs, Victoria Newland. The Office of Science and Technology Policy, Eric Lander, and Director of the Central Intelligence Agency, David S. Cohen. I wonder what they all have in common. Interesting. So what I think we're seeing with this thing going on now between Israel and Palestine is the left kind of fighting itself now, because half of them are backing the Jewish people, and there's other people who aren't backing the Jewish people and are backing Palestine. So just sit back and watch that whole thing come about. I don't know, they're funding both sides. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm not on anyone's side. I feel sorry for innocent people caught up in all of this, if it's real. Okay. Dr. Simon Godek said, I've been vaccinated against just about everything you could think of except for COVID, and was once a convinced supporter of them. Thanks to the pandemic, I've delved deep into this topic, leading me to become anti. I know I'm not alone in my sentiments. Millions of others around the world feel exactly the same. As a result, the establishment has shot itself in the foot, unintentionally creating an army of truth warriors. Recently, our movement has been gaining traction, demanding a complete reckoning of a scandalous global medical dictatorship. And just as the pressure was mounting, the Israel-Palestine conflict conveniently flared up, dividing the entire movement within days. If anyone still believes in coincidences and allows themselves to be divided, they are beyond help. Not only that, there was something else going on in Israel right before this broke out. And I believe there were protests. And I'm not sure if it had something to do with that or financially or whatever was going on. But right before this happened, Israelis were standing. Now, take that as you will. But I do believe that was what, I'm sure I bookmarked it, but it might have been in one of the ones where I stopped at a certain point, didn't go further down, because I had too many bookmarks like I do. DC Drano said big federal judge Benitez overturns California ban on AR-15 style weapons that have been in place for 30 plus years. Also overturned ban on ammo magazines over 10 rounds and background check on ammo purchases. Huge wins for Second Amendment. Newsom is furious. Second Amendment win, California assault weapons ban has been thrown out. Well done. Paul Hookham said, why do you need an AR-15? Because Democrats call this peaceful. The peaceful but mostly fiery protests. That's why people are being warned to be armed. Pretty can't do it here. Wide Awake Media said Prince Philip, the growing human population is the biggest challenge to conservation. Interviewer, and do you have views about what should be done about that? Prince Philip, can't you guess? Remember this man who said in 1988 interview with Deutsche Press Agentur, in the event that I am reincarnated, I would like to return as a deadly virus to contribute something to solving overpopulation. It's only that they can't control the amount of people in the world. The world is not overpopulated. He also told People magazine human population growth is probably the single most serious long-term threat to survival. We're in for a major disaster if it isn't curbed, not just for the natural world, but for the human world. The more people there are, the more resources they'll consume, the more pollution they'll create, the more fighting they'll do. If it isn't controlled voluntarily, it will be controlled involuntarily by an increase in disease, starvation and war. Yes, if you pack people in cities, they're going to believe the world's overpopulated, and you keep pushing people into those cities. And that's where a lot of the resources and everything go that they don't contribute to. If you spread people out and have them live more on like homesteads, you'll have a lot less resources being consumed, and these people are doing they're steering humanity.
What do you see as the biggest challenges in conservation?
The growing human population. Because if where we are, there's nothing else.
And do you have views about what should be done about that?
Can't you guess?
Can't you guess? He wants to depopulate. And it's not that the world's overpopulated, it is that they cannot control this many people. That's what it's about. Hodge Twins said people should be in prison for this. Michael P. Sanger said today auditors told Congress as much as $2.5 trillion of the $5 trillion the US spent on COVID relief went to China and its allies through fraud. That's enough to fund the entire Chinese military for 8 years. Keep that in mind when you hear how great our COVID response was. There you go. Blake said, reminder, Klaus Schwab brags about penetrating governments. Who voted for this? We penetrate the cabinets. Klaus Schwab in 2017, how the WEF penetrates governments with its young global leaders and affiliates. People should continue calling this insanity out. And I believe most of our politicians are young global leaders.
What we are very proud of now is the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina and so on, is that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more half of this cabinet, are for our actually young global leaders of the World Economic Forum.
And that's true in Argentina, too. Wow.
Oh, someone's playing with their microphone there. Exactly. More than half of Canada's parliament is young global leaders. Radio Genoa said, in Rome, cultural enrichment steals purse from an elderly Italian woman in the wrong neighbourhood. Wrong neighbourhood, mate. I can't show too much. Wrong neighbourhood, mate. Seriously. And I think you're going to start seeing this all around the world. End Wokeness said this might be the most San Francisco story I've ever heard in my entire life. A convicted child molester set up a tent across from a San Francisco school offering free fentanyl for new users. He's been doing this for 2 years. SFPD Captain Chris Canning, I was told he is in compliance with all the components of what his sex registration are. What the hell?
I've been in San Francisco, basically homeless for 26 years.
46-year-old Adam Moore tells me he has lived on the sidewalk across the street from Stella Maris Academy for more than 2 years, and that his sign offering free fentanyl for new users is no joke. Moore says he's just passing on the drugs that other people give him in exchange for blankets and supplies he provides.
They feel bad if they don't reciprocate, so they bring me trash that they've scavenged, things that they think are valuable. Or they give me some of the drugs that they have, which I don't do.
You're exposing grade school kids to this.
Mm-hmm.
This is not right. You know that.
No, it's shallow.
The kids come out of the school and they see this?
Yeah, I only live by 2 rules. Be kind to others and make it look easy for children.
The Richmond District Police Captain told me they recently tried an undercover sting on Moore, but he didn't have any drugs at the time.
I don't know, maybe the people should get involved. I don't know. What do? The police aren't doing anything. They said he's in compliance. What? The actual... Mate, he should be run out of town. In the old days, that's what they would have done. Run them out of town. Oh my goodness, if I was a parent at that school, I'd be running them out of town, all right. Daniel Baldwin said the gag order violates virtually every fundamental principle of our First Amendment jurisprudence. President Trump filed to stay his gag order, and stunningly, Judge Chukin agreed to temporarily do so. I don't think they know what they're doing. And as we speak, I believe Fanny's whole court cases are falling apart. Andy No said Ahmad Ali Alid, the Moroccan asylum seeker accused of carrying out a deadly terrorist knife attack in Hartlepool, England, that killed an elderly man on October 15th, appeared in court this week. He's charged with murder and the attempted murder of a second man. The attackers received little media attention in the UK, and there are fears Britain's porous borders will be further politicised. That's what I mean. I think we're just going to hear more and more of things happening. Elaine Stein? Okay. Said Vincent Kennedy shared this. Twitter, this true. Have you seen the video on Apollo 13 and how there's an accidental twin? And hang on, just let's watch this.
I think you're referring to this right here.
It's loud.
On January 28th, 1986, everybody was watching on TV, and they watched this devastating event take place where the Challenger exploded, and there were 7 astronauts on board. These are 7 astronauts right here that were part of the mission. 6 of them have some very interesting things going on with them, and I think that's what you're getting at, so let's take a look. Start with the commander, Francis Richard Scobie. And then here on the right, you'll see there's a Richard Scobie who is now the CEO of a company called Cows and Trees. Do you see a resemblance? I'll leave it up to you. Now here's Sharon McAuliffe. And then here's another Sharon McAuliffe, who is a Syracuse law professor now. Once again, you be the judge. Here's Judith Resnick on the left, and here's Judith Resnick on the right, a Yale law professor now. Interestingly, same name, and they actually look pretty similar. This is Michael J. Smith, and on the right side, you'll see Michael J. Smith, professor, University of Wisconsin. Striking resemblance. Here's where it gets really weird to me. This is Ronald McNair, and then this is his brother Carl McNair. And I really did a lot of searching here. I was trying to find any pictures of these two together, could not find them whatsoever. Same goes for Ellison and Claude Onizuka. There's literally not one picture of these twin brothers together. I mean, you gotta say that's a little bit sketchy. Just give us one, please, one. Not there. A lot of you aren't gonna like this video, but you've got to admit it's very strange that 6 of the 7 either have someone that has the exact same name and looks just like them, or has a twin brother. I mean, is that really all coincidence? I don't know, you decide.
Yep, I've seen this before, and I believe there are actually younger pictures of them as well somewhere. They had a comparison years ago on that. Gunther Eagleman said, fact, George Floyd died of an overdose of fentanyl. Derek Chauvin should be released. And in fact, there is allegedly people who suspect that the whole thing was an act. They're all actors. No life-threatening injuries identified. Fentanyl 11 ng-ml or norfentanyl 5.6 ng, /ml. So there you go. Most of us knew that when it happened. He died of a fentanyl overdose. Nick said, spicy trending list to start the weekend off. Fannie Willis. Channel 4, Secret, Gaza hospital bombing, Speaker Trump. Byron Donalds and Kennedy. Ezra nominee. Exclusive, unmasking the man who accosted Marjorie Taylor Greene on Wednesday as militants called for an unprecedented day of rage into Hamas, war on Israel. A bespectacled man in a white shirt accosted Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene inside the US Congress, screaming at her, let Gaza live, murderers go home, and the genocide. You do not have to agree with Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene to defend the right of all lawmakers and all people to stand safely in Congress, regardless of party politics. That's what the January 6 investigation was supposed to protect, right? Nobody has figured out publicly who the bespectacled man is. I know. He is Taya Herzala, leader of American Muslims for Palestine, an organisation started by University of California at Berkeley ideologue Hatem Bazian, who also started Students for Justice in Palestine. The viral anti-Jew, anti-Israel groups on campuses from Harvard to the University of Virginia. Bazian is known as Hatem Bazian. Here's an important fact. Herzala was convicted as part of the Irvine 11 for conspiracy to deny the free speech rights of the Israeli ambassador, accosting Ambassador Oren one after the next as he tried to deliver a speech in 2010 at the University of California at Irving. The chosen tactic of Herzala's network is intimidation. In early 2019, Herzala was a part of a group of Muslim establishment leaders led by Women's March fake feminist Linda Sarsour and Hamas supporter Nihad Awad, founder of the Council on American Islamic Relations, marching through House Longworth building to Rashid Tlaib's office to support Ilhan Omar's burst of anti-Semitism and call anyone who protested Islamophobic. Sarsour ordered her squad to block the door when I tried to enter and they assaulted me. I filed a complaint with the Capitol Police and Tlaib. Nothing happened. In late 2019, I went to a fundraiser for American Muslims for Palestine in Arlington, Virginia. Attorney General Jason Miyares and Herzala blocked my camera as I filmed anti-Israel activist Abra Omish raising money for her race for school board. Mark Lamont Hill was supposed to be the keynote speaker. He just lost his job at CNN for wanting to destroy Israel from the river to the sea. Now he has a show on Qatar's Hamas supporting propaganda channel Al Jazeera. Part of Omish's speech indoctrinating kids on the Israeli and Palestine issue. Just last week, Omish refused to support a resolution to express sympathy for the victims of the Hamas terror attack. Her father, Izam Omish. So I don't even believe this happened. I'm sorry, but I don't know if, because what we're seeing, places being bombed that weren't actually bombed, the car park was. Anyway, but there are pockets of these Palestinian supporters and Hamas supporters everywhere, in every country. Here we go. Hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. Emerald Robinson said the Biden regime just conducted a nuclear weapon test in Nevada to test detection of underground nuclear tests in other countries. This is a gigantic red flag. And the readers added context saying the test was not of a nuclear weapon. It used chemical high explosives and radio traces as part of an effort to improve nuclear explosion detection. How do they do that? I don't know. Seriously, I don't know. Leading reports said breaking Texas cybersecurity expert Russell J. Ramsland Jr. has testified that his team discovered Biden picked up 78% of Dominion counties, but only 46 of counties using machines from other manufacturers. Dominion's going to be in trouble. Declaration of memes. Promises socialists make. Socialism in reality. Look at that. That's the promises they make. This is it. Don't fall for it. Jack Pozo said, Biden says we all have to get over our divisions as his DOJ. I've done that one, so what I'm going to do now, because I've got lots of bookmarks. Don't ask me why. Seriously. Oh dear. Okay, Matt Wallace said taxpayers are forced to pay for George Floyd's family $27 million after he died from an overdose in police custody in 2020. Now that medical documents have proven Derek Chauvin did not kill him, should his family be ordered to give taxpayers the money back? Yep. Illuminati Bot says, WF says billions who complied with lockdown restrictions will also comply with social credit scheme. Will you? Did you fall for it last time? Will you fall for it this time? I hope not. I hope the people who did fall for it last time don't fall for it again. Charlie Amara said, bring it on. Go get him, Elon. Breaking, Elon Musk is going to expose Bill Gates soon. Says he's evil. In the latest saga of tech billionaires. George Papadopoulos said things just got very bad for Obama. Shocking new info surfaces on Obama's chef's death. Huh. Is this where we click for the story? Okay, yes, it is. More information's been revealed regarding the death of former President Obama's personal chef, and it's raised more questions, and I don't really know if this is going to tell me anything we don't know. The news about the new information in the tragic death of Tafari Campbell was revealed on the Fox News show Jesse Waters on Primetime Friday. We have new information tonight. The drowning death of Obama's chef, Tafari Campbell, the host said. The Massachusetts State Police responded to our FOIA request and released their report with some redactions. According to the report, Obama was on scene shortly after Campbell went missing, Waters said. I thought he was supposed to be away somewhere, wasn't he? The report also states that an unmanned female staffer jumped in the water when Tafari fell off his board, but it was already too late. He disappeared. What's an unmanned female staffer? Oh, probably no one watching her? I don't know. Too late, he disappeared. We also now know that the Secret Service has surveillance footage of Campbell from Obama's compound moments before he entered the water, the host said. So we're going to see if we can get that, and we may have that for you. Again, we're very, very sorry for Tafari's family. That was a serious, serious tragedy, he said. The details are made public by Judicial Watch on its website, and many of the key figures and places in the report were redacted. The documents were produced Judicial Watch in response to a July 25th, 2003 Massachusetts Public Law Records law request for all records relating to the death of Campbell, the group said. Don't they mean 2023? The documents show Campbell's family told police he'd taken swimming lessons in 2019 but described his ability as not a great swimmer. The drowning occurred in Eggertown Great Pond, which Massachusetts Environmental Police estimated to be approximately 7 to 8 feet deep, it said. The records also show a female eyewitness, an Obama employee whose name is redacted, told state police she saw Campbell fall off his paddleboard, begin splashing, and became extremely panicked, yelling for help, and subsequently went underwater very quickly. By the time she reached his paddleboard, the witness said Campbell had disappeared into the extremely murky water, Judicial Watch said. Judicial Watch reported the records include a July 24, 2023 homicide death report written by Mass State Trooper Dustin Shaw that lists details of the investigation into Campbell's death. In the narrative portion, Shaw writes, on Sunday, July 23, 2023 at approximately 7:58 p.m, he was notified by the Dukes County Regional Emergency Communications Centre of a possible drowning incident that originated from a 911 call at Redacted in the town of Egerton on Martha's Vineyard at 7:46 p.m. The 911 caller was identified as Redacted, who identified himself as a United States Secret Service special agent. I'm aware that Redacted in Eggertown is a residence owned by Redacted. I was informed that 2 people on paddleboards had entered the water at Eggertown Great Pond from the shore of Redacted, and 1 person was unaccounted for after being witnessed in distress going under the water and never resurfacing. I located EFD Eggertown Fire Department Chief Schaefer, and he informed me that 2 paddleboarders launched 2 separate paddleboards from the shoreline at Redacted in Eggertown. Tafari Campbell, date of birth redacted, was identified as the missing paddleboarder, and Redacted, date of birth redacted, was identified as the surviving paddleboarder. I was informed that Campbell is a personal chef of Redacted, and his family and Redacted is a staff member of Redacted. I'd say the staff member of Obama. Thus, the reason they were both at the Redacted residence prior to the incident. There's a lot of Redacted in here. EFD Egerton Fire Department Chief Schaefer went on to explain that Campbell and Redacted were paddleboarding together when Redacted observed Campbell on the board in the standing position suddenly lose his balance and enter the water and struggle to stay above the water. Chief Schaefer informed me that Redacted observed Campbell go under the water and never resurface. Redacted reportedly subsequently paddled back to shore to Redacted and alerted a member of the US Secret Service at nearby security post. I was informed that USSS Special Agent Redacted called 911 and reported the incident to Dukes County Sheriff's Department Regional Communications Center. Simultaneously, US Secret Service rescue swimmers immediately deployed from shore at Redacted and began searching the immediate area and underwater for Campbell, subsequently not locating him. That was just a whole lot of BS. What's going on here? I don't think there's much we didn't know other than Redacted. Redacted was there with them and Redacted someone else, and someone else is Redacted there too. Alexandria Marshall said, if colonialism is so bad and evil in Australia, why is it the areas of remote and regional Australia with the least colonialism, the least Western development, and barely any change since settlement are the highest places of disadvantage, crime, abuse, and desperation? These communities are not being preyed upon by outsiders. They are consuming themselves while being isolated from the progress of the modern age. Indigenous activists want to close the gap to make remote areas more like the cities. These are cities which are wholly the construction of colonialism. What activists want is more colonialism while pretending to hate it. It can no longer be ignored that the Indigenous activists demonise colonialism while demanding that colonialism be gifted at huge cost to those who say they hate it and want to tear it down. Well, it's true. The people in the most outback areas running themselves are the most abused. The highest crime. Okay, let's get into something that YouTube did, or didn't do. Paul Walker said, breaking, Sniper Wolf accused of asking a 16-year-old girl to flash herself while she was recording a YouTube video. Do you think YouTube will take action for alleged behaviour or let her ride shotgun? Or, now this girl has recently doxed someone, and doxing is illegal. Doesn't matter, you know, it's illegal. And YouTube have temporarily demonetised her. 2 channels, YouTube. 2 channels, mate. For nothing. And she gets away with this. Unbelievable. Sniper Wolf asked a 16-year-old girl to flash herself on Omegle while she was recording. This has been on the channel for a long time and is now the 2nd instance so far of Sniper Wolf exploiting minors. This is absolutely disgusting. Again, Zach James said, what the F? Sniper Wolf got an underage girl to flash her boobs to her on Omegle and the video's still up. I won't even post a screenshot, it's that bad. The moment takes place at 2:28 in the video. Shown in the attached image, we won't show that. For context, YouTube refuses to comment or take action against her after she stalked and posted a video of Jack's Films home on her Instagram account, taunting him to come outside to face her, which breaks YouTube's terms of service, off-platform creator responsibility policy. Media outlets need to start covering this because YouTube makes her channel a default recommendation on their platform and had her as a VidCon keynote speaker and alongside one of the VPs. She is also a high earner for YouTube, so I'm assuming this is what talks. Money talks. Everyone else walks. Bingus Black said after revealing some really creepy stuff Sniper Wolf has done in 2014 that was on her YouTube channel for 9 years till she tried covering it up by privating the video. Apparently I get banned and they can't tell me why I was banned. Hello? Seems like everyone is dick-sucking Sniper Wolf. Does she have a relationship with YouTube or someone who works there? Because she is accused of commercialising sexualisation of minors after a video she posted back in 2014 has resurfaced. Again, the rest of us get kicked off and she gets to keep going. Look at that. The real Sully G said Sniper Wolf is actively deleting incriminating videos off her channel as they are discovered. Just further proving that every day YouTube doesn't act, they are actively allowing her to erase the evidence from her channel. They are complicit. And this shows you a list of videos that have been taken down. Little Bite Show. I don't know. YouTube crazy how you have an actual pedo on your site and you're doing nothing about it. It's also crazy how you target her content to kids. If you're going to be a piece of at least address the issue like adults. The policy. Okay? You're not allowed sexualisation of minors, sexually explicit content featuring minors, and content that sexually exploits minors, including minor nudity posted with comedic intent. You cannot do it. Commander Carl said, if you don't allow doxing, then why can I still see Sniper Wolf's YouTube channel? Because doxing is against the law. It's an actual, they've broken the law, and your team YouTube. Oh my God. Team YouTube said, we don't allow harmful behaviours like threat and doxing. This resource has more info about our harassment and cyberbullying info policy. Also, if your personal info is shared, you can file a privacy complaint or request. Readers added context. YouTube has still not taken action against Sniper Wolf, who doxed Jack's Films house on an Instagram story that she later deleted. I actually find that one helpful. Spectre at 799 said YouTube terminates entire channels for literally no reason. No price strikes, no community guideline violations. They can't even give you a timestamp. Nothing, yet their whole channel will be gone. Yet Sniper Wolf literally doxed Jack's Films and all she gets a slap on the wrist. Blatant favoritism is blatant. Okay, this is Team YouTube responding, confirming Sniper Wolf has received a temporary monetization suspension per creator responsibility policies. Pardon? YouTube? What was that? Off-platform actions that put others' personal safety at risk harm our community, and the behaviour on both sides isn't what we want on YouTube. Hoping everyone helps. What are they doing? Move this convo to a better place. One person, okay, because Sniper Wolf, all she does is take other people's content, right, and plays it. One guy called her out on it. So she went to his house and doxed him. How is that both of them? At the time of their tweets, Sniper Wolf's channel is not demonetized, only her most recent video is. Using plugins, you can see this for yourself. So they didn't actually do it. Temporary monetization suspension on one video. The rest of the videos are still monetized. I think we're seeing now YouTube play out in the bigger scheme of things, because these are both big channels apparently. Leah said, let me start by saying I'm sorry, this is her, for my recent actions. It is inexcusable. I'm sorry to Jack's Film, YouTube, the entire creator community, and my incredible fans for not being a better example for appropriate conflict resolution. You're not appropriate for a lot of reasons, love, seriously. And this only came out after YouTube said they demonetized her most recent video. Jack's Film, while we certainly don't see eye to eye and have our differences, I'm sorry for reacting the way I did, and I should have taken the opportunity to show young creators how adults and professionals resolve conflict by communicating directly, respectfully and privately, not for views or content, but a meaningful example of how conflict should be solved. What about all the underage stuff she did? I'm not apologising for that at all. I'll reach out directly and hope we can find some time to connect and communicate respectfully. I'd also like to thank YouTube for holding me accountable. I deserve it. Respect the decision and appreciate the opportunity to learn and grow from a true lapse in judgment. And for additional context, recently Sniper Wolf doxed fellow YouTuber Jack's Films for criticism about her reaction videos. YouTube's only recently taking action by demonetizing, not her videos, one of her videos. So there you go. Okay, well, just another one on it. FGI Majora said, so let me get this straight. The Act Man makes a joke about doxing outside of their platform and YouTube takes action. Sniper Wolf actually doxes someone and now it's, well, we can't do anything about it. Laugh my ass off. YouTube is just as bad as Twitch with his favoritism. Shit. And Real Sully G said, just talk to YouTube support and wow, have they changed their approach. They're actively changing the rules to protect Sniper Wolf. YouTube no longer cares about its creators. This is unacceptable. Sure, what is it? I'll do my best to help. This is obviously, is it Google or something, or YouTube? Someone on YouTube's been making jokes about me. Am I allowed to drive to their house, post their address to my Instagram and incite followers to do the same, since I'll be doing it off platform? And they said, regarding the things that you will do outside YouTube platforms, I apologise as I cannot provide any details since YouTube is not allowed to meddle if it's outside our scope. It will be up to our own discretion on what you will be able, what you will do to them outside a YouTube platform. So it wouldn't necessarily be against terms of service to do so. Yes, since it will be outside YouTube's scope. So they're changing it as they're going. Very strange indeed. Yeah, and you didn't. And you didn't. Oh my God. I really hope YouTube gets that they only added fuel to the fire yesterday. With this response to the situation, you've only escalated the issue beyond just Sniper Wolf and Jack. It's now a massive safety concern for all creators. Okay, Donald Russo, let's get back to news. I just had to have that little go at YouTube. Uh-oh, the Trump-hating media has refused to tell you that AG Letitia James is about to slip on a banana peel. Check out subsection D of section 349. Trump's loans were made by banks regulated by the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. Federal banking agencies oversee bank loan portfolios through the use of federal banking examiners. Trump's loans met all federal guidelines, ergo section 349 cannot apply. I'm telling you, Fanny's fallen apart, and so is Letitia James. They're trying their hardest to get him any way they can. They want to keep him in court. So, you know, during his election run, so it makes it more difficult for him. It's not working. Not going to work. Baron of Burleigh said Albo MP, our Prime Minister here in Australia, our prime moron in Australia, is meeting with Kamala Harris in Washington. Why? What's that going to achieve? He's going to be spoken to like a little child. What's she going to do? Packer AU said Australia should do the same. Why do we allow these barbarians into our country? Darren Grimes, should Britain do the same? Macron calls for ruthless deportation of all migrants with ties to Islamic extremism from France. Well, he's changed his tune a bit now, hasn't he? Clown World said, holy the scene outside of Gavin Newsom's house. Let's have a listen. Is there noise?
California in Gavin Newsom's neck of the woods in his neighborhood, and the Apple Hill Trump train just paid us a visit over here. Trump 2024, guys. California here. The Apple Hill Trump train.
Good on you guys. Keep it going, keep it going. Clown World said, do most women think like her nowadays? Maybe young women do, I don't know, but this is insane how they do think.
What's the most a man should spend on a first date?
I feel like if I'm gonna get ready and I'm gonna use all my products to come out with you, I need like a minimum of $200.
Oh, come on.
First date.
I feel like if I'm gonna get ready and I'm gonna use all my products to come out with you, I need like a minimum of $200. A minimum, and that's like being nice.
And what does a man get in return for that?
My presence?
But aren't you having his presence within you already?
I hear you, but no. No. I mean, like, I'm here to get to know you. I'm here to get to know you. You invited me out.
But he has to drop $200.
Yeah. Because
minimum.
Yeah.
Just because you have to do your makeup?
Because I have to. Okay, so we're gonna do the math. My moisturizer is $400. My eye cream is $300. My serum is like another $300. My makeup, you know, not included. So if I have to spend, you know, that's my money. I'm spending my money on these products. I'm gonna use these products.
What are you using them for, though?
For myself.
Okay.
But I'm gonna use these products and I'm gonna show up because it's not like I'm gonna show up in sweats.
The man doesn't owe you anything if you're just getting to know each other.
If you're inviting me out, you owe me a date.
That's crazy. What the
the most a man should...
Oh, no way. High expectations or what?
Spend on a first date.
Good luck getting that, love. Seriously. It sounds like she wants them to pay for her makeup. $20, love. And like $5 for some moisturiser, and I don't know. You can get away with it, you know. Avi Yamini said, lol, imagine my shock. Turning Point UK, pro-Palestine supporters tear down LGBTQIA plus flag in central London. Here we go. That doesn't seem very tolerant now, does it? It's going to turn on them, guys. Just sit back and watch. Alex said, universal basic income introduction, communism incoming. Let's have a listen to this BS.
It is my privilege, honor, and responsibility to be the sponsor of Bill S-233, which we've just commenced study of in the Senate Standing Committee on Finance. The bill would introduce a framework to develop a guaranteed livable basic income. Right now is the fact that we are struggling throughout this country with homelessness, food insecurity, poverty, health, mental health issues, and this is one way that we could start to look at these issues. It's not the only way, but it's certainly a key way.
Problem, reaction, solution. They create the problem of homelessness and people going broke because of inflation and their BS, you know, their BS pretty much, their bullshit. And they wait for the public to react, and then they've come up with a solution, the universal basic income. No. That is a headway into the one world government we don't want. Resist CBDC said green energy isn't meant to work. It's meant to break our economy, induce scarcity and rationing, to require CBDC plus digital ID. And what's going to happen to your digital ID when the electricity is not running because they've gone on to green energy? Which will become a social credit system empowering CCP and WF. I could see this working like backwards on them, seriously. Hailstones damage the solar panels. They're trying to go to green energy. They're trying to move everything onto that. So where is your social credit system going to be social credit systeming anywhere without electricity? That's why money is, cash is good, cash is king. Garnott this again said good luck with that. State, territory and local governments have no power under the Commonwealth Constitution to enter into treaties, which they are trying to do. Each state is now trying to discuss how they're going to move forward with treaty. Well, in the Constitution, they're not allowed to. We need constitutional lawyers to get into the Parliament and start doing things. Matt Gaetz said, remember that about 100 of the congressional Republicans who called me vile just voted for Jim Jordan in public, then knifed him in an anonymous vote in a secret meeting in the Capitol basement. This was never going to be easy. We fight on. Trump for Speaker. Seriously, just get Trump in there for Speaker. The Gateway Pundit said a Detroit synagogue leader found stabbed to death outside her home via the Gateway Pundit. She was a go-between between Israel and Muslims trying to bring them together. Makes you think, doesn't it? Angry Auntie Vote No Australia said, what mandate? 60% of New South Wales voted against the package deal of a voice, treaty and truth. The ALP, the Labor Party, are ignoring the will of the people and are pursuing their own political agenda. This is the rise of the authoritarian left. This is our New South Wales Premier Chris Minns. I'm in New South Wales. We've got a mandate in place to begin the process of the treaty. Really? Look, I'm not going to do whatever they say either. What they've done in our local area, a council has put in you've got to pay for parking now. And if you don't want to pay for it, you have to get a permit off the Roads and Traffic Authority, or whatever they're called now, Motor Transport Authority, to get a tag that allows you to park there. Well, I haven't got anything and I'm not paying any fines, so they can do whatever they want. I'm not playing. Same with this. I'm not playing. I'm not going to... They can lock me up. I don't give a shit. I'm not doing it.
To engage with First Nations people. We've got a mandate in place to begin the process of treaty. I'm not going to lie, it's going to be a very difficult process. It's been ongoing for many years in other states and jurisdictions around the country, so but we've got a mandate to do it and we're going to progress it. To engage with First Nations.
You're not allowed, mate. According to the Constitution, are there any constitutional lawyers in New South Wales? Please stand up. Please stand up. Robert Bob McKnight said the same people that wanted George Pell jailed for allowing sexual assault to continue don't want to ask Royal Commission into Aboriginal sexual assault. Seriously? Yeah. Who's doing it? I heard George Pell was actually innocent. I heard he was investigating the Vatican Bank. And then he got all of a sudden sidetracked by charges of child abuse. I'll leave that up to you. You can make your own mind up on that. Jicky Leaks said, wow, this speech is a pivotal moment in UK democracy, not just for the content, but for the fact you can hear the public from the public gallery. The public are angry and 638 MPs stuck 2 fingers up to them by abdicating their duty to listen. And there is a video. Matt Letizia, wow, during a Bridgen speech in Parliament today on excess deaths. These are the overlays that were put at the bottom of his live speech on the BBC. They were fact-checking him. They were pretty much fact-checking him. Look at this. The jabs do not contain any ingredients that cause harm in such small amounts. Official NHS guidance states that government-administered jabs are safe and often essential for public health. There's propaganda down the bottom here. This is exactly what you're seeing. They're safe and the best protection. Most people with allergies, including food or penicillin, can be jabbed against. You really? Oh, people should be outraged. I also thought there was like 4 or 5 people in the whole Parliament listening to it, because the rest of them just left. That's what happens in Australia. When Craig Kelly tried to stand up, or Malcolm Roberts, or one of those, most of the Parliament aren't even in there. Illuminati bot said if we don't set aside our differences and take out the trash, the world is doomed. Because we have a common enemy, except for the real extreme left who are part of that common enemy. I don't know. Do they have a brain in their head? Johnny Maga said, do you have to understand the upper ranks of Team DeSantis went into this thinking they'd be senior advisors in the White House. Now they'll be lucky if they end up third-rate rhino consultant firms. That's where this unhinged behaviour stems from. It's only going to get worse. Ron DeSantis' team is tearing him down. I'm so over this, said this is why the yes politicians don't want anyone looking into Indigenous Inc. All the while, Aboriginal people get nothing. Kids can't go to schools that don't exist. Kids can't get health care that's nowhere near. They want them off the land. Miners are waiting to mine. Maureen says, G'day, said, well, here's some of the billions paid to fat cats. 2 executives of an Aboriginal education charity have been paid $815,000 over 18 months, coinciding with a $100 million blowout in construction costs for new boarding schools. Education charity bosses' fat salaries revealed. So that's where the money's not going where it's supposed to. We need an actual investigation into where the money for Aboriginal people's going. $40 billion a year. Where's it going? Okay, and this has 823R says, is there anyone in the UK who still cannot see the amount of illegal immigrants have been allowed, sponsored and paid for by the British government? That this act is a deliberate betrayal to destabilise the UK in pursuit of us accepting a one-world government? And Josephine Jarrow said, there are plenty who have never heard of the Kalergi plan and who will scoff at the idea that the invasion of fighting-age Muslim men was all planned. They are the sort of people who believe the WEF stooges who say these men are tragic refugees who must be saved from hardship. I'm going to like both those comments. Garnot, this again, said, then perhaps they should return to Palestine. Suleiman Ahmed said, pro-Palestine protests in Sydney, Australia. The people are with Palestine. Go there. Go and help them. Seriously, this is in Sydney. Now, if people in Sydney don't think they're in trouble, just keep watching. Jessica Rogers said, shared from an RN, I'm an RN at a GP practice in Australia. Just last week I took delivery of the usual monthly government jab order and discovered a new childhood jab that's been added to the National Immunisation Program. It's called Vaxilis, an alternative to Influx Hexa, given to babies at 2, 4 and 6 months for DTP A, Hep B, polio and HIV, and Hep B, I believe, is a sexually transmitted disease, so why are they giving it 2, 4 and 6 months old? No doctors and nurses have been given any details about it other than it's interchangeable with the other one. So this person checked out the official product information for it and found out that it's a ribosomal DNA jab. How dare they introduce a genetic vaccine into the NRP without telling anyone? I'm warning every parent that comes in with a baby about it, and I've told the practice manager that I refuse to administer it until the NIP provides details regarding clinical trials, safety data and explanation for their underhanded behaviour. This is bloody ridiculous. Up until 3 years ago, before any changes to the NIP schedule, all immunisers had to attend some form of education, i.e. workshop run by local public health, or an online lecture or learning module, usually with an included assessment with an 100% pass mark to attain before being deemed qualified to continue immunising. Since this whole BS started, there's been several scheduled changes to the NIP with only a brief email notification, which only benefits the nurse on duty when it arrives, who invariably pins it up on the vax fridge for everyone to ignore. Considering how fastidious they've been in the past, even with simple schedule changes, this is just bizarre. But the fact that they've actually included a new jab into the NIP and a genetic one to boot with no information, no safety data, no studies cited is just bloody criminal. I looked this up, and this one is a 6-in-1 vax that was approved October 2020. Trials were performed using other jabs, so no saline per usual. 6 deaths occurred during the trial, but they want to assure you it wasn't that. You can read all about it for yourself here, and I'm going to share that. Yes, I'm very anti now. Have been for quite a few years. Before even this new, the coof came in. I was anti before then. I worry about my grandchildren. Protect Australia's food and fibre security said John Howard slap a 90-year suppression order on high public profile Wood Royal Commission findings. John Howard just happened to be in Washington 9/11. John Howard took our guns. John Howard tried the Australia card, a national identification card. John Howard was rewarded, but people still think he's the best Prime Minister Australia's ever had. Very unfortunate. Kim.com said Ukraine was ready to sign a peace agreement with Russia, but the US government did not allow it. Confirmed by Gerhard Schroeder, former leader of Germany. So Ukraine was ready to sign a peace deal with Russia, but the US government did not allow it. Because of the washing the money in that area, maybe? No, we're washing money in there. You can't do that. We need the money to go in there. Okay, Inner City Press said also Joe Bankman was on the Signal chats with Sam, you remember Sam Bankman-Fried? Fried himself? And Gary and Nishad and Caroline to the very end, and when Barbara Fried was directing how to make $1 million to her Mind the Gap look, where did she think the money was coming from? SBF exhibits trial attendees Joe Bankman and Barbara Fried signed this $16 million deed for a mansion in the Bahamas, bought with FTX customers' money, full deed on Patreon. And someone said, okay, maybe they did not know their son was stealing FTX customer funds to pay for this house, but how can they lie that the house was owned by FTX when there is all this deed paperwork? You got to turn sideways to read it. Okay, their names are on it. So this whole SBF thing is just, it's weird. Okay, Tanya Lewis said, I hope so. Charlie Amara said, bring it on, go get him Elon, and that's, yeah, we've covered that one. Mikamius said, Labor, we support an Aboriginal Torres Strait Island voice. and the Liberal National Party release all the details. Labor said, you have all the details. The Liberal Party said, no, we don't, we'll oppose it. Voice to Parliament fails the first referendum in 20 plus years. Labor said, it's all Dutton's fault. Greens said, it's all Dutton's fault. Dutton is the leader of the Liberal Party. Left-wing media, it's all Dutton's fault. The Liberal Party wants a Royal Commission into child abuse within Indigenous communities. Labor said, we won't support that. Lol, we can't make this up. One has clear details, which is about protecting children, ensures no one can avoid accountability, and the other had a lack of details. Protecting and wanting better for some of our most disadvantaged and vulnerable children is not political point scoring, but simply the right thing to do. I say this no longer as a Liberal voter, but now as a swinging voter. Why? It's simple, country over party. Instead of party over country, which is what they're doing. And, yep, the judge has halted the gag. Okay. When was this? 21st. Okay. Rufus Vote No said, have the rats started jumping before an impending audit? Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island legal service suspension despite huge funding boost. Legal insiders are outraged the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island legal service closed down its court services in Innisfail and Atherton at the same time it received more than $30 million in extra funding. Yep, they're just not shutting down and pocketing and running by the look of it. Law Girl said the most brainwashed people I've ever met are university educated. Education does not equate to intelligence or common sense. No, it's indoctrination and brainwashing, most of it. Sorry. Not all of it, not all of it. I have to say not all of it, but you do not learn common sense, you do not get street smarts from a university, you need to live to get that experience. Memes Are Us Too said you can vax the entire planet but you can't feed the starving. Work that out. They can pay for all those jabs for the entire planet but they cannot feed hungry people. That's why I believe you should be growing food yourself and we should all have little homesteads. Not all. You don't have to, but I mean, you know, those who want to should be able to. Michael Schellenberger say the media says the censorship industrial complex is a conspiracy theory, but it's not very real. And now the US Supreme Court has agreed to hear the landmark Missouri vs. Biden case, which may very well put an end to it, and we hope so. I don't think there's much more that I've got. Matt Walsh said they said this, talking about Derek Chauvin and George Floyd. They sent an innocent man to prison as a racial sacrifice. He's in jail for being white, no other reason. Okay, and I think that's about... Let me see if the Gateway Pundit's got any... Oh, up my stomach's growling already. Let's see what we've got here. Another GOP rep jumps into Speaker race. Here are the 9 GOP candidates now running for Speaker. Who are they? Hello? Click. Hello? It's not letting me click on it. Okay. Oh, yes, it is. Just taking a while. Who are they? Rep Gary Palmer jumped in. Who else is there? Tom Emma, Mike Johnson, Kevin Hearn, Byron Donalds, Austin Scott, Jack Bergman, Pete Sessions, Gary Palmer and Dan... oh my goodness, my stomach. Oh God, that was loud. Muser? Anyway. Oh, I won't be able to stay on long. I'm obviously hungry. Retired Army CPT Iraq War veteran J6 defendant Gabriel Garcia blocked from entering base for medical assistance. Biden DOJ put him on a terrorist list for walking inside US Capitol. Please help if you can. Attorney for Illinois Comptroller Office fired over anti-Semitic rants on social media. Audience members walk out of Dave Chappelle's show after he criticises Israelis' bombing of Gaza. Trump released a statement on Sidney Powell. Powell was not his attorney, by the way. Wasn't she General Mike Flynn's attorney? Not Donald Trump's. Oh, my stomach. Oh. Conservative Swiss People's Party wins in landslide over Green Party and national referendum. Mass immigration in Switzerland, a major factor. I think it's going to become a major factor for everywhere. Pence running out of steam, yeah. Hardly anyone shows up to his events at a pizza restaurant. Yeah, I wonder what he's doing. What sort of pizza that one is. Bidenomics, Americans falling behind on auto payments at record rate, mass repossessions looming. World War III, watch Israeli wants to cut off the head of the snake, threatens to wipe Iran and Lebanon off the face of the... Here we go. Okay, and Trudeau again. And I saw, was it Menacing Muskrat in the comments saying, please, I don't want to hear Trudeau. Hang on a sec, guys. I don't blame you. Wouldn't want to listen to him either. Okay. Let's go back into the chat now. Who have we got in here? We've got, hey Zal, Virginia, how you going? Mobrat Hunter, Zal, yep, Rocksteady, how you going? Deb, how you going? Adelaide, not moist but very cold. Yeah, I believe we are about to get some snow. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. We've had some nice warm days. Today was freezing cold, but this morning. But it's going to warm up to 24 degrees Celsius today. But in about 3 or 4 days' time, when is it? Oh no, Thursday. Now it's rain. Okay. It's just rain now. 5 to 11 degrees on Thursday. That's the maximum, 11. If it even hits that. Selena, how you going? Faith, how you going? Who else have we got? 22 watching, 14 likes. We can do better. Yep, 48 watching, 30 likes. Can we do better? Can we? Zal said, doesn't matter who becomes a speaker, it won't matter in a few weeks. Zal said, most people have selective memories. Zal said, the growing population has always been an issue for the controlling cabal of reptile stooges. Zal said, yes, Prince Philip can't eat them fast enough. And also, WF has penetrated the Australian government. Oh yes, I know, just like Canada, Canadian government. UK too. Hey Susan, how you going? Hey Hev and everyone from Wisconsin, USA. Sal said those astronauts are still alive. And Menacing Muskrats put a link in there. Menacing Muskrats said they were hitting the microphone to get Schwab to shut the F up. Hey Darren, how you going? Sal said, of course it was a setup with G. Floyd. Deb said Muskrat, laughing. Menacing Muskrat said, that sums it up, kind folks, thank you. And sub if you haven't already, please. Sal said, g'day Darren. Darren said, evening Zal. Darren said, we may soon find out why the Crusades happened. George said, Islam is not a religion of peace. No, it's not. If you've actually read a lot of the things they go by, well, there's some Muslims that are, I believe, innocent in this, but there's, how do you know? How do you know who's who? Darren said, even before Islam existed, the people were not peaceful. Since the Exodus, they've wanted to eliminate the people of Israel. Faith has shared a link there saying, very interesting young lady in the first part for anyone interested. Flyby Stew, how you going? Zal said Big Mike didn't like Obama's chef serving size. Well, weren't they supposed to be away on holiday or something when it all happened, but Obama was there shortly after? I'm wondering who was with him. Menacing Muskrat said, just like Obama's Loretta Fuddy, she went underwater and never surfaced again. She had a lot of info, re Obama's past. Yes, she was the one who signed his birth certificate. Menacing Muskrat's put a link to Loretta Fuddy there. George said, hi Menacing. Menacing said, hello George. Sal said, are you sure she's really 16? George said, I was thinking the same, Zal. Timmy! Oh my God, I was bored out of my mind. Decided to check YouTube and Hev's doing a show. How you going, Timmy? It's good to see ya. Everyone's saying, hello, Timmy. Darren says, she got a brown nose from that apology. Yeah, that chick. Who was saying something about, are you sure she's really 16? Not the girl I was showing you. She's the one who doxed someone, and a 16-year-old she got a 16-year-old to send her, or an underage girl to send her shots of her breasts. Darren said, does anyone really expect YouTube to be fair and balanced? Get the white coats? Yeah, I just, one day it'll come back on them. And hopefully people who have been booted will get compensated. And I don't know how that'll work, but hopefully. And people who have been held back even. You know, shadow banned and stuff like that. One day it will come around and it'll bite them. Zal said the Prime Sinister. I agree with Macron. Yeah, for once in history that I know of, I agree with Macron in that. And then again, that's if he actually said it, you know. I don't know, the media, I don't know if I trust them either. Darren said, yes, Britain should do the same. Darren said, we're a Christian-based kingdom. Yes. Zal said, it won't matter, we won't be here, folks. And Zal said, those women are delusional. That's a lot of young women these days, though. And I think it's from social media. It's telling them they should be looking for a 6-foot-something man who earns hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, who owns a Mercedes or something equivalent. And whatever happened to just liking someone and going on a simple date, like even coffee? Spending $200 on someone? I'd be embarrassed. I wouldn't know what to do if someone did that to me. I don't know. Are you sure? What are you doing? Oh, dear. Yeah, so they are delusional, Zal. Darren said, ask her when she had last had a date. Could be a while. Darren said, maybe she means they have to pay her a minimum of $200 and pay for the date too. Is she just selling herself? Is she a glorified prosy? That's what it sounds like. If that's the case, I don't know, that sounds like a glorified prosy to me. George said, London has fallen. Menacing Muskrat said, call dollar girl. Call girl. Dollars. Yep, that's what it sounds like. Sal said, who are these people making decisions on everyone's behalf? Yeah, that's what... No one's voted these people in. None of them. None of the people that are making decisions, nobody's voted them in. Darren said, yes, Muskrat, call girls would have to include the products into the price. Hey, Sherry, how you going? Darren said, maybe just to build a big wall around them to stop them escaping. Sal said, they're lying to us about the energy. There used to be free energy before 1902. Yes, I believe that too. George said, I see a video of peaceful protest in Manchester. The Israel and Union Jacks flying proud, not like London. There you go. Darren said, BBC, the biggest BS corporation. Out to lunch, said, here. How you going out to lunch? Darren said, you didn't see that on TV news, though, did you, George? George said, no, Darren, I didn't. Out to lunch, said, I was into JFK stuff. Oh, yep, didn't realise I was on. That's okay. I know you can't always join every stream, you know. Darren said, it's only a matter of days before they kick off. Hey, Pat, how you going? Boarding schools more like institutions. Sal said, where are the police? Like they were attacking freedom protesters? Yeah, exactly. No, they won't do it for this one. No. Only when the WEF tell them to will they go and arrest the protesters. And the WEF didn't want the anti-lockdown protesters to continue, but they don't mind the war. George said, anyone kicking off should be sent back to where they came from. Tim S. said, remind me to share the connection of HIV with a Hep B jab. Oh, that would be interesting. Tim A. Darren said, the police are afraid of the number of protesters, so they've taken the wrong side. Sal said, boarding schools equals food source for pedo elites. Deb said, yes, please, Tim A. Yeah. If you've got it, we'll take it, Tim A. Darren said, military is the only way when it kicks off. George said, hi, Deb. Zal said, the COOF still hasn't been proven to actually exist. Exactly, the PCR test couldn't tell the difference between influenza A, B, and the COOF. So how do you know you didn't just have influenza A or B? George said, yes, Darren, the police in London are pussies. Darren said, you don't share your HIV and Hep B with me, Tim. No, he doesn't have it. He has information on it. I get your sense of humour, Darren. Zal said, Johnny Howard got his honorary 32nd degree over in the US during that time. Yeah, probably. George said, things will only get worse if Labor get in government. Deb said, I can't see Labor getting back in next time. No, not here in Australia. They're in government now here in Australia. Labor, and they suck. Carl said, coming up Sunday, 6-year Delta. No. When they say future proves past, we just didn't realise how far in the future this was going to be. That's what I think, honestly. Okay, Darren said, I know, George, people need to see they are crazy to vote for either of the two main parties. Time after time they make promises, get in, then break every promise. George said, I don't trust any of these politicians. Darren said, we still haven't got the Brexit we voted for. Yeah, that's been going like for years. Darren said, politicians like snow. What sort of snow? Like, sort of snow or? Deb said, I'm cleaning for house inspections, so I'm popping in and out. Oh, that's cool. Yep, you go clean. I've got to clean after this and mow the lawn too. George said there was traces of cocaine found all over the Houses of Parliament. Yes, they found some in the White House. We caught Dan Andrews with his back to the camera doing something that involves some sort of sniffing something. My lighter did it again too. It stayed lit again. So I've got to be very careful with this lighter. Okay. Out to lunch said Woody's dad was a hitman, may have been involved in JFK. Ooh. Darren said, George, that's why they're all talk and no action. Yeah, Woody Harrelson's, yeah. George said, they are effing idiots. Darren said, out to lunch, so he worked for the CIA. Out to lunch said, why, what I got out of it. GB was there, everything. George Bush. Zal said, folks, for your reference, the stories in the Bible were taken from events that happened in South Africa and some in the Americas eons prior to what you're told. We were adapted to fit. They were adapted to fit. Out to lunch said, Mr. Nower, I believe. Zal said, BBC, British Bolshevik Collective. Zal said, ABC, Australian Bolshevik Collective. Darren said, BBC, Build Back Communism. George said, Rishi was not voted for. Isn't it just, that's awful. Menacing Muskrats put a video in there. Darren said, neither was Hismo useless. Menacing Muskrats said, we're watching a movie, reload the popcorn bowl, lol. And Darren said, sorry Muskrat, popcorn is a, I can't read, it's behind the heart. Why did they put those hearts in the way? Now I can't read the comment. Quick, someone put another comment in so I can read Darren's last comment. Oh, guys, I'm going to have to wrap this up shortly. So I'm just waiting for another comment so that I can read Darren's comment. Hang on, if I put a full stop in there, then I can maybe... Oh, hang on. No, yep, hang on. Hang on a sec, I'll do it myself here. Where am I? I'm just going to put a full stop in so I can... Darren said, sorry, Muskrat, popcorn is on ration due to panic buying. Oh. Out to lunch said, Il Donaldo has good... Hang on, has good what? Video. Il Donaldo Trumpo. Where is he? Oh, God, love you, Timmy. Thank you. What was that? Hep B info. In 1982, the HB jab was created and pushed to the gay community. Later, a retrovirus introduced. Let's say the virus became especially deadly if one was jabbed for Hep B. Ooh. Really? Timmy, bringing the news in. It was created and pushed onto the gay community. Later, a retrovirus was introduced. The virus became especially deadly if one was jabbed for Hep B. Oh. Why is my keyboard not working? Don't mind me. There he is. Puppy Trumpo. Which video? Hang on. Let me just... Oh, it's on Rumble? And Deb said, Timmy! Okay, guys. I can't find what. Oh, the only thing I can see is maybe a Trump video. Yeah. Let's have a look. But you said on Rumble. You can tell who's going to be the next president. God love him. Oh no. It's Joe Biden. Oh dear. Biden hits the beach in the Middle East. Congress is in chaos. Lovely. Okay, well guys, I am going to leave it there for today. Just finish up with a few more comments there. Menacing Muskrat said McAllister and Christian 21 reload a reptilian video. They both discussed fentanyl and coke. Out to lunch said Miss Piggy. Tim S said I'll expand on the Hep B and Hev can share later. I ran out of space in my message. Oh no. Out to lunch said the Golf one may be bad. Sal said the concept of what a virus is wholly suspect. Go look at Dr. Sam Bailey and what she's uncovered. Yeah, I think Tim has said something similar. I believe Tim has said that like a lot of... Yeah, it's not what we think it is. Deb said, who would take Albo's place if he stepped down? I don't know. God help us. We need a new election. Really? Who's the Deputy Prime Minister? I don't even know who the Deputy Prime Minister is. So would that be the person who takes the place if Albo steps down? Shannon said sneaky. Sal said wrong, Deb. Deb said, oh my God. George said Timmy. Shannon said, g'day from the Riverland, South Australia. Deb said, Shannon, you're late, Shannon. Shannon said, oh, I missed it, lol. And George said, hi, Shannon. And I'm going to about to say goodbye. Darren said, even in the computer world, most viruses are created by the companies that make antivirus solutions. Yes, problem, reaction, solution again. They cause the problem. They wait for people's reaction and they bring out another solution, which keeps you sick your whole life. Out to lunch said, gas too high, find him at the beach. Menacing Muskrat said, Shannon, how's socks? And Out to Lunch said, China Joe video. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it there for today. Hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or evening. I'll be back. I won't be here tomorrow, but maybe the next day. Either with a video or a live stream. Yep, there you go. Much love. Have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys. Oh, intermission, no, outro. Okay, bye.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright. And for the first time in a long time, I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I'm not falling. I'll push all my chips and call all in. I'll bet on myself, you keep stalling. I'll keep my head up high through the downs and lows, and where I'll go in life, still nobody knows. But I'ma choose what's right and take what comes and goes, and ain't no one in life holding me back no more. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. Way back a year ago.